Welcome to Golden Owls TV. I'm your host, Avery Brooks, and we're here with Regina McDuffie, City Manager for the City of Brunswick. How are you?
Good morning. I'm well, thank you.
Excellent. So this is the month of February. We're going to be talking about what's going on at the city in the month of February in this new year of 2024. So how would you like to start off?
Well, there's a lot always going on. I guess just to start off, I'd like to talk about the city officials. We just got back from a summit in Atlanta with the GMA, our Georgia Municipal Association, and we spent time learning about the legislative agenda for the coming year. They do a meeting to inform us of what's, kind of coming down the pipe in terms of state legislation. So that was very informative. It's actually, the beginning of the session. So they're looking at a lot of bills that are being dropped and what may affect cities around the state.
Wow. Do you have any highlights, like something that kind of jumped out that would be affecting specifically our area, or just in general, something that is going to affect all the cities?
Well, there's a lot of talk about housing and funding for housing. There's also a lot of talk about the state having money that they are allocating for transportation, which is road projects. And they have a lot of money that they are trying to determine how they will give to local governments for, projects, as well as there's a lot of talk about homestead exemptions and exemptions for homeowners and how that can impact our area. So there's a few things that are really important to, our citizens in our area that they are looking at.
Right. Kind of a recurring theme. I feel like transportation and housing are sort of at the top of everybody's mind.
It is very much so. Georgia, it's, been known for as the best state to do business for the last 10 years. They have been number one. But what comes along with that is when you're bringing in large industry, you also need housing, you need transportation, you need water and sewer capacities, and things like that. So as our businesses grow, and I hope that Brunswick, with our new Buc-ee's coming online, which we had a groundbreaking on Monday for that, all of those things will provide growth in our area as well. So we are looking at, how we can provide better housing inventory so that we can have people to grow our population.
Right. Yes. And I feel like people, sometimes you hear a complaint about, bringing all the growth in the building and the new industry or the housing, the new builds or whatever. And nobody has thought first about how you're going to accommodate, it's like, it's sort of backwards, let's build the infrastructure needed for the growth. But it's like, well, why do we need to do that if we don't even know if the growth is coming?
Right. So it's always a kind of a chicken and the egg situation, where a catch-22, or what you don't know what to do first. You don't know what all the impacts are going to be. And, we do want economic impact. We want jobs in our area. But we also have to look at, the growing pains of that. But I think, for the city of Brunswick, unfortunately, over time, our population has been stagnant. And I think part of that is because of our housing inventory, because people want to live in the city. They want to be, they love our walkability. They love our, amenities that we provide, but they don't have an area for housing. So, and we need better housing inventory. So that's something we're working very diligently at. We actually have, was approved for us to apply for a grant to help with our housing program. We also, the commission approved our policies for our program for housing. So we're working diligently to try and get that in place and move forward with just providing, housing opportunities so that people can move back into the city. And that's one of our goals for this year, is just improving that housing stock and making it affordable for people to be able to either purchase a home or rent a home in the city.
Right. Yeah, that's an excellent point. And clearly that's a need here that y'all are working on, but it's also sounds like a need in lots of other towns as well, because I think there's this sort of a movement to move back into the city. It used to be everybody was moving away from the city. And now everybody, it's like we have to reverse.
Trends just continue to change. But we, on a lot of the surveys that I've seen, it shows that Brunswick is poised to grow and have people, really infused into the city. But we need to have the housing to provide for them. So that's what we're working on. Also, the next item that I have on my agenda, there's a state of the community that the chamber is hosting next week. It's on the 7th of February, and we'll be presenting information about the state of the city, and also the county will be presenting information about the county. So I'm very excited to tell people all the things that have happened over the last year, and what's upcoming for the city, and what our growth looks like, and what opportunities we have for development in our community.
Yes, that's very exciting to kind of hear what everybody has to say and present what the city has. So that's a great opportunity.
Yeah, just some of the things that I will be talking about on that particular presentation, talking about downtown and how excited we are for the events that we've had. We had record-breaking attendance to events downtowns. I think our Porch Fest, our Grimm's Fest, they had record-breaking attendance. And, people just being downtown, we were very excited about that. Also, very much, we'll talk about, the opportunities we have for development. The Panova fire last year was a significant occurrence, and at the time, we didn't see all of the opportunity when they announced their closure. But now we are looking at a almost 300-acre tract of land that's poised for development in our community. So, I think it's really an opportunity for us to develop some really substantial, impactful areas in our community. So, I'm very excited about that particular opportunity moving forward. Our recreation program, which we started last year, it's been very exciting. I hope you saw the headline of the newspaper where, it showed that we had the little 14 teams of children being able to participate in our recreation. And we were very excited about the success of our first basketball program being back. And looking at just all of the things that we, work towards for our community. A lot of things that are happening over on Norwich Street, where we're trying to engage and infuse those businesses to reinvigorate them as a supplement to the downtown area. So there's a lot of different things that are going on economic impact wise that we want our citizens to see and know and be proud of, along with, some of the infrastructure things that we have and projects that we have in the SPLOS that we're working on. So a lot going on around the city, a lot of movement, a lot of improvements. And we hope that, the citizens can see all the things that are going on.
Yes, I think you make a great point that you hope everybody can see it. I know, as we've talked about, we continue to sort of talk about these projects, explain what's going on and how we're in the process, and ask for everybody's patience and all of that. But I think what's exciting is that you're seeing it now. You're actually seeing the children at the Parks and Recreation, and you're seeing the teams form, and you're seeing the infrastructure being changed, and the growth and the people coming to downtown. So now it's like it's in full gear. which is exciting. You're not waiting on.
Yeah, and sometimes, I mean, it's like the Macon Talmadge area where there was a lot of flooding and there was, drainage problems where we're fixing the drains and areas over near the McDonald's. That was almost a $5 million project, and just money that we infuse in that particular area as a part of our stormwater master plan, and we'll be moving on to other projects from our stormwater master plan, in the upcoming future. So just trying to make sure the public knows that things are moving forward, that improvements are being made all around the community. I know there's, still potholes in the streets, but we try and fix those as much as possible and do some resurfacing. We're looking at resurfacing Altama, which is our largest and most traveled thoroughfare in the city. That one is a high price, high ticket item that we're going to invest in, for the future and have an impact very substantial on everybody, during their work and travel daily. So those are the things that, we really want people to understand and appreciate the fact that the city, is trying to make improvements that'll improve their quality and daily lives.
Yes, yes. It sounds like it. And people want to know too, they're excited about the projects, but of course, they want to know, how will this affect me? And sometimes they want to know, will you do the work? Say, for example, on Altama, will you do the work at night? Are you just going to close one lane? Like, how is that going to affect people?
Yeah, and that's part of it. A lot of people, they don't like the inconvenience of construction, but they want the improvement. So, it's a trade-off. But yeah, in most cases, they will analyze when the best time for, because we know there's school traffic there. We know there's hospital traffic in the college. We know there's, a lot of travel on that road in the mornings at peak times. So all of that will go into the schedules that they provide and the traffic controls that they put in place for that project. So we, hope to have as much, not as minimal impact, negative impact on the community and their travel during those times. But, there is going to be some inconveniences, some slowdowns of traffic and that kind of thing. But again, with progress, you always have to have some inconveniences.
Yes, but the 2 P's, progress and patience. You need to have
Definitely.
Yeah.
Another exciting thing that we have coming up in February, the City Commission will be doing a retreat on February 16th. We will be meeting at the College of Coastal Georgia for a one-day retreat just to start planning and understanding where we are, what projects we have going forward this year, and what things that, we want the City Commission to engage in. So that will be held, and it is a public meeting for, we'll have just the commissioners there, but we have to advertise it as a public meeting because they will be discussing city business. So looking forward to that. We'll be talking about our comp plan goals. We'll be talking about our legislative agenda. We'll be talking about how we can have better community engagement. And then talk about some of our operational things, such as our public works, looking at public safety and upgrades and improvements that have been made, as well as future needs, that are needed there. Looking at recreation and what our future needs may be in facilities to support recreation, and then looking at some of our major SPLOST projects and what their timelines are. So just a lot of information that we'll be discussing and reviewing. And also we'll be looking at, I mentioned before, we have the opportunity for developing some large parcel areas around the city and, how that process will go. So those are some of the things that we'll be talking about during the retreat, and hopefully getting a lot of discussion from the commission on what their ideas are.
Right. Great. That sounds excellent and wonderful. And you got a new commission. I know we did a sort of an exit interview with 2 of the commissioners that were going off. And then I know you've got 2 new ones coming on. So Johnny Kaysen and Julie Martin. They have, left, and we thanked them for their service. 12 years, I think, is how long they served. So a lot was accomplished there, but excited for the new commissioners as well. So we'll have to maybe get the new commissioners on and get their perspective at some point on the show.
Yeah, they both were in attendance at the summit in Atlanta, and they were very pleased. And, it was a lot of information, definitely got their, I guess, enthusiasm sparked with all of the things that they see that city government entails, and the things that we have to deal with. So I think, certainly I would like for them maybe at the next show be able to come in and talk about their perspectives at that point.
Yes, that would be great. That would be really nice. Can you talk a little bit more about, I know you mentioned housing and, trying to take some of these larger parcels, like you just mentioned. Is the grant money, the housing grant money, would that apply to, say, a new development in these, would that?
It could be something. We're mainly looking at a lot of individual areas where we can apply it to vacant lots that the city, that are around the city. It will depend on the ownership of those properties and whether the city can acquire the properties, build on them, reconstruct, renovate. So we're looking at a lot of different aspects. But it could be, now most of the larger developments we probably won't be infusing this money into, because we want a private developer to develop, and we don't own those properties. So but we would try and provide as much assistance and guidance that we could through our processes. And we are going to be talking with local contractors to see how we can engage them in our processes. We've talked with people who are financial advisors and how they can help people, with home ownership guidance. And so there's a lot of components. We'll be working with the land bank very closely, identifying properties that, they could put in this pot that we can develop or have properties housing placed on. So there's a lot of components that we will be working with going forward.
Sounds good. Yes. Yeah. One little thing at a time and a lot of guidance along the way for.
And there's a lot of moving parts to, the housing. There's houses that are owned by people that need to be rehabbed. There are houses that are land lots that are vacant that we need to place housing on. There's housing that's being rented that needs to be rehabbed. And then there are, places that we can possibly build to sell for resale. So there's a lot of different areas that we want to try and address and make it affordable for people to have houses here in the community.
Right. And that's, I think, the tricky part is that the affordability, you can maybe get it done. There's grant money to get it done, or there are developers who want to do it, but it's like, how do you get it affordable? And
right, because when you talk about affordability, think about right now a small house, 1,000 square foot house, is costing $160,000, $180,000. And when you think about a purchase of that home, and you have to, in most cases they want 20% down, that's $32,000 or $36,000 of down payment, for that home. And that's, I don't have $36,000 laying around to pay for a house. Not too many people do, especially if you're looking for a small, first home buyer type situation. So it makes it really impossible for people to invest. And we all know that home ownership is the way in order for people to stabilize their financial existence. I mean, when you're renting a property and you're paying $1,500 a month, at the end of the year, you don't have anything you don't have any equity in that property. So it's not something that you can borrow against. It's not something you can use for credit. It's not, it's not that viable option of having the ownership. So, we will be encouraging people and trying to get people ready to own their homes or buy a home in our community. But we also realize that there are people who won't ever buy a home. So we want to also make it affordable for rental properties as well as improve the standards for rental properties. So, there's a lot to be done to make improvements, and we are working really hard to make all this happen. It's not going to be an easy road, but we hope to, in a couple of years, be able to show the things that we've done to improve the housing in our community.
Yes, yes. There's, like you said, so many moving parts and a lot to discuss, but it sounds like y'all are considering all of it and getting together. And the summit that you're going to have, the meeting with the commission at the college sounds like a great place to discuss some of these things. So sounds great. As usual, you're moving forward in a positive direction, and it's fun to be a part of all of that and see it happening.
Yeah, we definitely, feel like we accomplished a lot of different things during the year. We had a lot of things going on with homelessness. The city was wrestling with that issue all of last year, and it's still ongoing. But we are trying to make improvements, in that area. Housing has a lot to do with that, so we are making those, trying to meet those challenges. Again, our infrastructure, we continue to want to make improvements, and we have projects going on all around the city to improve our infrastructure. So, we are working towards those ends, as well as trying to infuse more money. We have, grants that we're administering, and we're continuing to apply for different grants to provide, assistance to the city. So just a lot of different things going on, and hoping to just continue to provide a safe, comfortable, clean environment for our citizens. I can't say enough about, how excited tonight is. Actually first Friday for February. So
Yes.
we'll be, out hoping people come out for the First Fridays. And, it's funny, I think when First Friday started, they would have a gap for the winter months, but now the winter months are just as strong as the summer months. And we've had, people coming out in large numbers to support the First Friday activities.
Yes, and it just happens to be a beautiful day. So I think, no rain in sight today that I'm aware of. So it should be a great evening. And of course, we talked about all the things that have been happening downtown, from Grinfest to the lights at Christmas to the Christmas parade. I mean, it's just exciting. So yes, Brunswick needs to win an award.
Yeah, I actually, when I go around the state, of course, we talk to people from other communities, and a lot of people come to our area. They visit St. Simon's, they come to Jekyll for meetings and conferences and that kind of thing. And they are all really very complimentary of Brunswick, and anyone who has visited our downtown, they are very complimentary of, the downtown area. So we're very excited to, just continue to make improvements in that downtown area. Certainly, just continue to look at what we can do to ensure that we are providing a safe environment and cleanliness. That's something we'll be working a lot on as well. I can't say enough about how much our code enforcement people have been working, how our public works people have been working, and just making sure that things are done and kept up in our squares and in our parks, and cleanliness of our streets. So we definitely are very excited about all the changes that have been made over the last year, and things that we look forward to improving as we go forward.
Yes, there's a lot to look forward to. So we appreciate all your time. Is there anything else you want to touch on before we wrap it up?
Well, the only thing I'd like to say is we certainly are continuing to, promote the city. We will have Georgia Cities Week coming up in April. We will be doing the wellness walk. I think it's in the 1st of June. So we have some events that we're planning for. Got a lot going on, and just want to keep people informed, keep people apprised of, all of the things. We are really working hard to get the word out, make sure people are checking our Facebook page. We're trying to keep our website updated. We want people to know about what's going on with the city, and we want them to be engaged with our activities. So thank you all. Thank you for what you do to get the information out for the city. And again, visit our Facebook page. Visit the Discover Brunswick, which is the downtown development Facebook page. There's a lot of information. We're trying to get everything, out to the public and inform the citizens as much as possible. So thank you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for saying that, and you're very welcome. And we enjoy this. This is our job, is really to get local information out to the public. We're hoping to increase the local news network. Was really what we're trying to become, is a local news network, and the city sort of launched that, and we're going to include the county as well coming up soon. Hopefully Brunswick Water and Sewer. There's a lot of information there. So,
it is.
Yeah, we need them desperately, because I feel like every other minute somebody's question, has a concern or a question regarding water and sewer. So there's a lot, and it's all happening in Brunswick, really. And we appreciate you sort of being a wonderful leader there. And we can't wait to see what 2024 brings.
Well, thank you. We definitely have a lot going forward, a lot of exciting things happening around our community, and we want our citizens and our residents to be a part of it.
Yes, absolutely. Well, thank you so much for your time today. This has been a wonderful show, and we look forward to next time, and thank you for joining us.
All right. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.